Okay, hello, welcome back to another game of chess. Today we are facing the move e4, so I'm going to play a Sicilian defense. Usually I go for knight to f6 and play an Alekhine defense. However, today we are going to go g6 here, the hyper-accelerated dragon. And then instead of taking here immediately, I'm going to play bishop to g7, allowing our opponent, if they want, to take here on c5. This is actually known as the pterodactyl defense. A very cool name for a chess opening, of course, the pterodactyl defense. And I think the main point is that after they take, we go queen to a5, give a check, and then pick up the pawn again. So instead they play d5. Interesting. Now what's going to happen is we're going to get basically a Benoni structure where they've got a pawn on d5. Almost certainly they'll play pawn to c4 as well. We're going to play d6 and basically cement this beautiful pawn structure here. I'd expect, as we see, c4 now, and I feel like I can play a Benko Gambit. I mean, I can't play a Benko Gambit. The Benko Gambit is okay. Let's say d4, c5, d5, knight f6, and then c4. And in that position, you play b5, the Benko Gambit. Now, keep an eye on this pawn structure here. If we tab all the way forward, you can see that this is the pawn structure we have. So I think, quite instructively, this pawn break would still be a good idea. So I'm going to go for it, almost certainly under the knowledge that it's not actually a great move in this exact position. I don't have the knight on f6. Their bishop supports this pawn, but the point is that we defer the pawn from the defense of d5. We bring it over here, and we play a6, offering up another pawn which they can take if they'd like, and if they do, effectively what we'll then have is an open a file and an open b file, although they don't, they play knight. Okay. Interesting. I'm very tempted to play queen a5, but they're just going to play bishop d2. Yeah, that probably doesn't work. I could take pawn takes and then take. No, that's rubbish. What am I talking about? Okay, we're gonna leave this this tension here. If they want to take, absolutely fine. We will eventually take back here, have our open A and B files, castle over this way, and have a fun game. I think we're gonna play knight f6 here. It can't really be a bad move. I mean, I need to castle at some point. Now they've moved the bishop. So because they've already now committed to moving the bishop, I mean, first of all, let's just castle because there is absolutely zero chance castling queenside will be a good idea. But now they've moved the bishop, we're going to make the argument that it's like a waste of tempo to move it again. So what could I go for? I mean, they've defended this pawn, which is useful for them because I was going to take, and if knight takes, pick up that pawn. Okay, we could take, you know what, we're just going to take him. We're going to open our A file. We now have the most active rook on the board, on the A file. Obviously we are down a pawn, but I think I'm going to go for an idea of bishop g4, and then like knight d7. Bear with me, the idea being that we want to put a knight on e5, and if we can do so while this is pinned, that could be very, very pleasant for us. Also, we've achieved our open A and B files, and the bishop here on g7 puts a lovely pressure along here as well. So if we can basically go like bishop g4, knight d7, maybe move the queen, and then bring the other rook across to b8, we could have some beautiful rooks applying pressure to these pawns, and that's kind of how I think we want to attack. So, I could also play this. And you can't support this with a4. And I am threatening to take, and then pick up the pawn. Although here there's just going to be like rook e1. And then, I mean, I'm not threatening anything tactically. I like this move. Bishop g4. Now the question is, if they play h3 immediately, am I willing to take this knight? It looks like that question is upon us immediately. I think I am. The reason being that I know I'm giving up my bishop pair. Actually, I really don't know why. I guess we kind of just completely then dominate these squares. And there's never an idea of e5. I want to take queen takes and play this and this. That's sort of the main idea. If we go back, they'd play g4, trapping our bishop, but we could then sack the knight. I doubt that'd be a good idea. We've got this kind of same side castling position. Probably this king wouldn't actually be that weak. You know what? We're taking this. Probably a bad move. But after knight to d7, you have to address this problem here of knight to e5. Now, you probably could do that by playing bishop f4. Knight here, there's bishop here. Oh my days, that's annoying. Although, wait a second. Knight on the rim, attack the bishop, threatening to take it. Now they do not want to give up that bishop. And we also unleash our dark square bishop's beautiful reign over this this diagonal here. And b2 is going to be a problem. As well as the fact that if that rook then moves, a2 might be a problem because we have this beautiful rook here. Also, I'd make the argument that this knight's kind of sidelined. So if they want to, for instance, go back to prevent me taking here, they're completely welcome to. But then, oh, then I'm going to have this. Without a doubt, I'll be taking that bishop. We now have won back the bishop pair, so to speak. I mean, neither of us have the bishop pair, but it is certainly now not an attacking advantage for our opponent. They maintain their pawn advantage, fine. But I'm a little bit suspect that it's going to last. We have some very nice ways of applying pressure now, exactly like I was talking about before with our game plan. Queen b6 could be a beautiful move. And then the knight can come into e5. I really like how this has happened. I'm not sure I exactly played it the best, or played it as well as I could have, let's say. But queen b6, and it's very obvious how I'm attacking. And I feel like it's not so obvious how white's attacking. My rooks, I think the difference in the rooks is going to be at least visually the most stark contrast that's going to justify why we are down a pawn. Because I'm sure the engine still thinks this is very good for white, if not winning for white. Okay, they just bring this over and defend. Wow, I didn't even register this. Look how weird that is. I want to put my knight here. I feel like this cannot be a harmful move. I'm suspecting, or expecting, or one of those words, the bishop to go back to c2. We have kind of temporarily closed this up. Ooh. That seemed a little weird. Why tie your knight down to defending this? Maybe I play c4 and knight here. That could be very interesting. Oh, c4 knight here actually looks brutal because we threaten check on here, we threaten the queen, and we open up the bishop to threaten takes. And then pawn takes, and maybe... Oh, I'm really tempted to do this, but c4 is a very committal move. Because right now, pawn is beautiful. Attached to this beautiful little pawn chain here. If it ventures out of the nest, if it strays too far off the beaten path of this pawn chain, that will be irretrievable at a certain point, but I do want my knight here. I'm going to start with rook to b8. We're going to complete our idea, developmentally speaking, and positionally speaking. Okay, I'm so tempted. Should we just go for it? I mean, what's the harm in going for it? c4, opening up the queen, threatening knight to d3, shutting the bishop off from retreating back down its path to safety. And once I move my knight, I'll be able to unleash this bishop. So, queen moves. Fine. Defending this, that makes sense. I like this. I still really like this. Here, if you take... Knight takes here. Queen takes. Bishop here. Guys, knight d3. Look at this dark squared bishop. My argument is that my bishop is infinitely better than our opponent's. Can I take it? If queen takes, we go bishop here. And we win the queen. Oh, guys. Oh, guys. And if you don't play queen takes... Oh my, then if the king runs to here, we go here, and there's no f-pawn, so you lose the queen. Oh guys, that is what I like to see. Knight takes f2. Oh. Queen takes, and we just pin and win this queen. The dark squares, brutally exploitable, and what we were talking about in terms of that war for owning these dark squares here, has really manifested in this tactic. Now, the king can't go here because the knight, of course, holds. We are, of course, threatening a discovery. That is the major problem that our opponent has to address, is that we are threatening some discovered check. You can almost guarantee there will be some very meaningful tactic if they leave their king here. I mean, it will not be looking good. We could do a double check. Oh, and they move. They try to run, but they cannot hide. And that, oh my, resign. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay, give him a minute to rage. Give him a minute to just sit there raging. 3, 2, 1. Okay, opponent is clearly just sitting there, head in their hands, just unable to even comprehend what's just happened. They play on. Okay, I mean, we win the queen. This is the point. I really expected resignation here, but I guess they have some faith in these passed pawns. It's hard for me to find similar faith, I'll be completely honest. But okay, fair play to my opponent for trying, I guess. Okay, what do I want to do? How do I infiltrate? How do I punish them for not having a queen now? Oh, we don't have much time. Maybe that's why they played on. Maybe I'll go here and try and go check. And then try to pick this up. I need to get my queen involved, and this king is weak, and all their pieces are over here, so I think we are just going to go queen to f6. Just get it over, and ready to do some potential damage to this king. I mean, oh. Here, check. Here. Wait, here. Can I just go here? I kind of think I can. Oh, let's just do it. Check. Hitting the king. You block with the pawn, unless you go here. But again, I'm not really convinced. Okay, I mean, fair enough. That's just not very aggressive. Although blocking with the pawn would have been a bad idea as well. Now, I feel like I should set up a discovery again. Here, the king goes back here. I mean, I'm kind of happy to lose the rook for this light square bishop, just lose the exchange. I really don't think it's that meaningful to keep it. Let's go here. Threatening check. The pawn could, of course, not take because the king... the pawn is pinned to the king, of course. So I think going right for the king with my queen... I mean, once we won the queen, my process is then being queen f6, giving a check, and going in here. Like, we have literally just run as close to the king as possible, which has to be a good idea in general. Now, if you take... Can I take here first? Yeah, I can, because if you go here, it's checkmate, and if you go here... I mean, I could always give another check and then recapture. So I don't think taking here is a great idea. But then what are you going to do? I mean, if you go... Okay, we take... If here, it's mate, so if here... Do we just give the check? Wait, do we just go here? Oh, guys. We go back to f4. We threaten checkmate here. The only piece that can defend is this rook. And then this will be checkmate. The king will have entombed himself on h1. The g1 square, the only escape square, will be taken up. This is the only move to stop mate in 1, but it allows a different mate in 1. Just beautiful stuff. All you need, apparently, is a queen and a knight here. A rook sack, by the way. All you need is a queen and a knight. And our opponent focused too much on that queen side and on the passed pawns we gave them. And unfortunately, it did not end well. Let's analyze that game. Okay, so here we are in the analysis. If we scroll down, you can see a graph that is basically the story of a dodgy opening, but it never got that bad. The worst it got here was plus 1.8 to white, which I can play with. Some of the openings I choose to play give white about a 2.5 advantage. As long as it's not ridiculous, then I can live with it. And then we kind of fought it back, maybe a bit of a mess around here, and then obviously converted over here. So 94% accuracy. which is interesting because this looks like a mess. Anyway, let's go through the game. Okay, so we've got the Masters database open here. Opponent started with e4, c5. Wait, this was a Sicilian. I completely forgot this was a Sicilian defense, because it was an old Benoni in my head, which is normally when they go d4 and I go c5. A lot of people will play the Benoni like this with the knight first, then if c4, c5, d5. I prefer to go c5 immediately. I just think it's scary and fun to play, and leads to some more interesting lines, for instance, if they accept. Anyway, somehow the Sicilian, this hyper-accelerated dragon, hyper-accelerated pterodactyl, by the way, again, if takes here, c3, we would take here. This is a line, the Rhamphorhynchus, that I'm assuming is some kind of dinosaur. Very interesting, and I will look into this. I assume it's all derived from the fact that it's called a Sicilian dragon, and so they've kind of gone with that whole dinosaur theme. Instead, we saw d5, which is apparently a line in the hyper-accelerated pterodactyl. 713 masters have played this. d6, and I thought I was saying knight a6 was the best move. Knight f6 is the best move here. b5 has been played 10 times by masters. Not a ridiculous idea. Definitely not completely ridiculous. After they take, let's quickly look at the engine actually. Okay, knight f6, yeah, but also a6 is the second best move, which is very nice. And if they take, you see it's actually not so great for them, because after takes like this, knight takes, we're going to access this square, and if you go a3, I mean, that won't stop me from accessing this square, because if you take, this beautiful rook pin comes to life. So that's interesting, that's good. I'm kind of happy with that. Knight f6, best move, castles. And okay, I mean, it's plus 1.1. White starts with a small advantage anyway. This is not an opening failure by any means. Wait, Hikaru has played this exact game. What? No way. What did Hikaru play here? He took. That's what I did. Literally Hikaru. Takes here. Oh, why did our opponent ruin my thumbnail and title and not take with the bishop? That's so sad. Okay, so basically I played exactly like Hikaru for like 9 moves in a very weird opening. So quite happy about that. Knight takes. Bishop here is inaccurate. Because, okay, yeah, h3, and I did have to trade that off, otherwise it would have just been a complete waste. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone for this, I was a bit rash, and after, I'm sure you guys realised, after I said, am I willing to trade this off, I didn't really address that point, because I didn't really think about it. That was definitely a lapse in judgment. My kind of idea in my head was, yes, I'll take, queen takes, knight here, and then go for knight to e5. Luckily, opponent then played this, and immediately I found knight to h5, the point being that you have relinquished control of b2, and if you want to go bishop c1, be my guest, but then I'm going here, claiming back the bishop pair. You've just wasted a move, and your position's looking a little bit dry. Takes, and okay, I mean, rook a4, just what is going on here? Maybe you bring the knight back. Very interesting stuff, but instead, they go back with the knight. Then we take, and here we're now just a bit better, because we have that dark square bishop. Our bishop is just better than theirs. I think that's simply the reason we're better here. Queen b6, very reasonable. Knight here, best. Okay, rook b8. Wait, it wanted c4. No, I was saying c4. Damn. Okay, we played rook b8 first because I got a bit scared, and then played c4. I did think c4. I'm still happy with that. The point being that, of course, knight d3. Very happy I saw that. And then here, this tactic after takes. Knight takes, because if queen takes here, then thanks for your queen. And if you don't move your king, I'm probably going to have some discovery and win the queen. And if you do move your king, which is the best move here, then I can take, and then pick this up. And my queen hangs, but then your queen hangs, and then I pick up the rook. Disgusting lines. But instead, of course, they made the fateful error, tried to run from the discovery, and got hit with a bishop to e5. Queen takes, pawn takes, and then, okay, how was my conversion from here? Okay, it still likes queen e3, but queen f6 is an extremely close, if not exactly the same, second best move. So if you give the evaluation up here a second, it will jump up. Okay, awesome. Getting the queen involved, I mean, just principally, the king's weak, my queen's over here, all the pieces are over here, this king is undefended, and I mean, check here. One sec, if we'd seen this, would I have gone here? I love this game. I just really love this game. Yeah, okay, disgusting stuff. They went back, queen g3 best move. So this was almost engine perfect as an idea. And I mean, I know it's kind of easy to play up a queen, but finding that, basically just shoving my queen as fast as I can in front of this king, because after takes, we have check here, knight back, rook comes across, and checkmate. I mean, what a conversion. But thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. That helps out the channel. And I will see you in the next one. We are back with the daily uploads. Let's go. Loving the support, all your comments. I read all of them. I will try and get better at replying to all of them because when I'm trying to go for this like daily streak thing, I don't often find time to do that. So I will. Apologies. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.